My name is Faith Foster. I'm 33. For 5 years, my mother introduced me as a waitress. Not an electrician. Not a business owner. After her second Chardonnay, the family disappointment. September, an invitation landed on my workbench. Cream paper, gold script, her perfume. Sharon Foster's 60th, October 14th, 40 guests, a rented hall, and the version of me she invented. What she said then, and what I handed her, ended a 14-year lie. But 3 days later, she was set to lose everything. I was the only one who could stop it. Welcome back to Lineage of Lies. Drop a comment where you're listening, subscribe. You'll want to hear how this ends. I run an electrical contracting company in Columbus. 28 employees, 12 vans. I was bidding a hospital wing when Aunt Carol called. She's the only relative who phones me at work like I have a job. Faithy, got the invite? Bury it one night. The hall floodlights are shot, you're handy. Handy. I bid $2 million jobs. To my family, I am handy. I said yes. But the invite came from Carol. Mom never asked for me. She was happy with the story, her daughter waited tables, some kids don't turn out. To explain, I have to take you back to a garage smelling of copper and coffee. My dad, Ray Foster, an electrician, one white van, blue letters, Foster Electric. Saturdays, he taught me, electricity is honest. It does exactly what the installer deserves. I asked why he never put his name on a bigger sign. He said, load-bearing walls don't ask to be noticed, Faith, and winked. A religion. Mom watched from the porch, left lemonade, never came in. It took me 20 years to realize, it wasn't the grease. It was the calluses. Dad died when I was 19, at a breaker panel. Heart, 51. I was in electrical engineering at Ohio State. Then paperwork, small insurance, van lien, second mortgage, checking account less than my meal plan. Somebody had to work. Nathan was buried in pharmacy school, the investment. I told Mom I was withdrawing. I waited for her to fight. To say, your father would want you to finish. She said, just don't tell anyone at church yet. Not, don't do it. Don't tell anyone. I withdrew. Mom buried 2 things that March, her husband, and the daughter she could brag about. Only one got a headstone. I waited tables. Mom said I was figuring things out. I was figuring out a union apprenticeship. At 20, I got in, one of 2 women in 40. I told her over pot roast, expecting pride. She set down her fork. An electrician? Like your father. Exactly like Dad. Nathan's pharmacy degree gleamed. She smoothed the tablecloth. In this family, we hang diplomas, not aprons. A year later, she still told everyone I waitressed. Like a chronic condition. Why not tell the truth? I did, Weiss. First, I mailed her my company brochure, Faith Foster, owner. It came back unopened, sticky note, please stop confusing your aunts. Second, at Uncle Pete's funeral. A cousin asked if I still waitressed. I said, I own an electrical company. We wired a school. Mom appeared, tears ready, not today. She embellishes. Hard since her father. You can't fact-check a crying mother. I stopped correcting. I built. Journeyman at 24. Master electrician at 28. I named it Foster and Daughter Electric, dragging Dad's name up. By last year, 28 people, 3.4 million. Then God's irony, Mom's church caught fire. Faulty wiring. Rebuild committee took bids, my company won. Mom served on that committee. 3 months, she walked past my vans, my people, Dad's name in blue, never saw. She bragged, such a professional outfit. Complimenting her disappointment. That fall, I had one dream, the old Hartwell building into a trade school. Foster and daughter training school. $158,000 saved. Closing end of October. 2 weeks before, I drove past Mom's house. Perfect curb appeal, but peeling paint, rusted downspout, tarp under shingles. A house performing. At the hall, the wiring was dangerously corner-cut, same energy. Nathan helped with the tent, gray-faced. He took calls. I caught the cadence of a collections agent. Banks don't call pharmacists on Sunday. Monday, fixing Mom's porch light, I opened the console drawer for fuses. Inside, a stack of First Millbrook savings envelopes, rubber-banded. Home equity line, $149,000 owed, past due in red. A certified letter, signed and buried, foreclosure notice. Auction, October 17th. 3 days after the party. I held up the envelope in the driveway. Nathan aged 5 years. He confessed, Mom borrowed against the house for 8 years to keep up appearances. The taxes I sent through him? She thought they were his. He never corrected her. He let her toast him while I sat by the kitchen. You should hate me, he said. No. You're just fluent in her language. That night, Carol came to the motel. She told me Mom was top of her nursing class until she got pregnant. Grandmother packed her dorm, got her a cashier job, and said, a diploma is the only thing they can't take. Now you'll never have one. Carol said, she's been trying to graduate ever since. Through Nathan, the committees, you. Understanding isn't excusing. But I saw the wiring. Mom wasn't the author. She was its longest victim. She just never stopped charging admission. 2 columns on a legal pad, Hartwell, $158,000. Foreclosure, $149,000. Dad's voice, load-bearing walls don't ask to be noticed. Maybe the hiding wasn't humility. Maybe it was a smaller shame. I called my attorney. We bought the debt, not the house. F&D Holdings, Foster and daughter. Purchased the note, canceled the auction. Every dollar. Trade school gone. A notice went to Mom, F&D halted the foreclosure. To me, mercy. To her, a shark. Nathan figured it out, called. You bought her mortgage. With what, Faith? The school money. Silence. You have to tell her. Or I will. I said after her birthday. Let her have the party. She'd paid enough. The party, gold tablecloths, hydrangeas, 40 guests. Mom in navy silk, queenly, terrified beneath. I sat at table 6, by the kitchen, between an uncle's hearing aid and the coffee station. The caterer's cousin Spot. After toasts, the tour, Nathan, doctor of pharmacy. His wife, school board. Grandchildren, gifted. Then me. She looked at me, saw fear, the letter, the auction. But she reached for her oldest tool. This is Faith, the one who didn't finish college. A chuckle. Linda Pruitt's eyebrows. 40 faces polite, which is worse. Heat rose, then stopped. A breaker. I stood, walked to her, placed a card, Faith Foster, owner, master electrician, Foster and daughter electric. She read it, saw the blue letters, F&D, cancelled sale. Her glass shattered. I leaned close, kitchen, Mom. At the counter, I laid out the papers, mortgage assignment, cancellation, lease, 214 Maple Street, tenant Sharon Foster, life, $1 per year. Nobody's taking your house. I bought the debt. It cost me the school. Dad's name on a building, emptied into this house instead. You owe me nothing. But you owe me one sentence. Look at me, my daughter builds things. She didn't finish college. She didn't need to. She tried twice, voice cracked. Then she said it, slowly, like walking on ice. My daughter builds things. She didn't finish college. She didn't need to. She didn't embrace me. She smoothed the lease, aligned corners. Don't tell them tonight. Let me tell it my way. That's the difference, Mom. I never needed them to know. We returned separately. Near evening's end, she raised a glass. My daughter, Faith. She owns her own company. A pause. She's very good. Not the whole sentence. The first brick out. By December, lease signed. I fixed every rotting corner. The town found out, Linda's nephew at the title office, but the story flipped. Sharon, what a daughter. Mom straightened, she's always been gifted with her hands. She's in progress. Thanksgiving, main table. She introduced me as, my daughter, the electrician, then added, she owns the company. Then, inevitably, she could still finish her degree online. For the resume. I let it pass. The old sentence doesn't die in 1 October. It just stops collecting rent. Hartwell sold to storage. I'd waited to start the school grandly, like Mom waited to be seen, her voice in my head. So we started small. February, glassed off a corner, Foster and daughter training annex 6 benches, 6 students. 1, Brianna, strips wire with her jaw set like mine. Dad's multimeter on the shelf, yellow case, his initials, still accurate. First lesson, a breaker trips to save the house. Cutting current isn't failure. Load-bearing walls don't ask to be noticed, Dad said. He was right. But I add, the day I stopped hiding inside the drywall was the day the house stood straight. 1 card, 1 broken glass, 1 sentence that took 60 years. If this story sounds like your family, if you've been somebody's quiet wall, table 6, tell me in the comments. Subscribe to Lineage of Lies. The quiet ones have the best stories, and we're not finished telling them.